Welcome back, everybody, to Caravan of Garbage, where this 4 weeks, we're going to be doing the 3 and a bit Hunger Games movies.
Oh, did they Harry Potter this series?
They Harry Potter the last one, yeah.
Because there were 3 books? Is that what we're going with?
Initially, there were 3 books, yes. But of course, we're getting the prequel movie.
I mean, initially, there was just 1 book, the Bible.
Yeah, sure, that's right. Was that the first book?
Yep.
I thought it was that book, Brown Bear, What Do You See? I hate that book, Mason.
Oh, yeah?
Fuck that book.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was just going along with it. It's time to reveal that. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I don't feel like you do very well in the 75th Hunger Games,
I think
Mason.
I do great at the Hunger Games. I'd simply defeat all my opponents with skill and vigor very early on.
Well, that was my
And
question.
everybody would love me, and they'd send me little gifts in little parachutes.
Yeah?
I wouldn't even need them. I'd just be like, thanks, on principle, thank you, but I don't need this because I defeated everyone. I'll just stick around in this arena. I'm having a lovely time.
Whose personality are you adopting for this? Because you obviously couldn't use your own.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because, nobody likes the YouTuber personality. I don't know if you know
absolutely not.
that. People barely tolerate it on YouTube, let alone in a real world scenario.
In a real game of death.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to... Look, you know what? I'd figure it out on the day.
You probably would.
I wouldn't need Lenny Kravitz and bloody Woody Harrelson. I'd just be like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to spend the preparation time just sort of, eating all this nice food and what have you, and then I'll just knock me in there. I'll come up with personality.
Okay.
I'll, knock off a few guys real quick,
Yeah.
Great, be easy.
I'd run into the woods and fall off a cliff.
It's also a good option, yeah.
Yeah. It's not an option. It's just what would happen to me.
Understand.
I'm not choosing that.
Yeah, I would probably. Look, to be real, James. I would probably attempt to cross a river and just like at the bank of the river, I'd just like break an ankle, and then I'd be done.
Yeah, sure. Or you'd have one wet foot.
Oh my god, guys, please! I know you're drawing various machetes and bows and arrows at me right now, but I got one wet sock. I'm gonna deal with that first. All right, just let me get the one wet sock off.
Exactly. Anyways, please leave a like because this week we are talking about the Hunger Games from 2012. Is this the 75th Hunger Games? I can't remember. I wrote it somewhere in here. We'll come across it again.
I mean, we're doing this obviously because, upcoming is the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Is that what it's called? The prequel?
Younger Games.
Oh, nice.
Because they're all younger.
And the trailer for that starts with Jason Schwartzman going, "It's me, I'm the guy. I'm the first host of the Hunger Games." That's bad writing.
I agree.
What do you mean the first host? What do you think's going to happen to you? Or also, isn't he Stanley Tucci
I
in
think
the
it's
future?
a different guy
It's a
because it's
different
like
guy. Okay,
70,000 years. I don't know how time works in this universe,
right.
which is our universe. Anyways, what I think's fascinating about this one is that it set itself apart from so many other teen movies of this era. There are exceptions that did really well, obviously, like Harry Potter.
Not another teen movie.
Not another teen movie. That's a good one.
American Pie.
American Pie.
American Pie Band Camp.
Yes.
American Pie Stifler's Mom's Adventure or whatever they're called.
Sure, yeah.
Hello.
Twilight, which we've looked at, etc. But what do you think makes this better than like Divergent or The Host or Mortal Instruments City of Bones?
Well, I've seen this one, so that's number one.
Sure.
And I haven't seen most of the others, I'm pretty sure. But I would say... This is a guess. Good production values?
Yep.
It looks great. I'll give you that.
A lot of those other ones look good. I think it's not a complicated concept.
Sure,
It's
okay.
a tried and true, let's all kill each other in an arena.
And I suspect also, like, the subsequent ones also stick to that, whereas a lot of the other ones, like,
Some of them do.
I think there's one called The Maze Runner.
Yeah.
And having not seen any of those, I'm pretty confident they run out of mazes by about movie 1.5.
Oh, I'd love to do the Maze Runner, actually.
Oh, you think you'd knock it out of the park?
No, I'd fall off a cliff. I mean, talk about the movies.
Oh, I see, right.
Yeah,
Are they
yeah.
good?
I liked the first one. I haven't seen the other ones, but
Okay,
I'd
great.
love to come back to them, yeah.
Okay. Well, when they do a Maze Runner prequel,
Yep.
Just Walking Down a Hall, it's called. These teens, they keep getting through this. I don't understand. What if we put some dead ends?
I'm the host of the first Maze Runner, and I think we should put some corners in. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think about people's names that are slightly misspelled? Like Hey Mitch.
Like Hey
or
Mitch, sure.
Peter.
I love it, James.
Yeah, it's the
I think
future.
it's the future. That's what would happen, you know?
Yeah. Well, and they love their world building. I think they really sell like the grubby outer suburbs or whatever you want to... Districts.
Sure.
Districts.
No, I like to think of the outer suburbs.
Yeah.
Like Frankston.
Exactly.
Yuck.
Frankston's on the up. You
No,
need
I
to
know
back
it
off,
is.
all right?
Yeah, I know it is.
But I also love, in contrast to this, and I think this is on purpose, the gaudy,
Oh, yes.
the gaudy aesthetic of the inner suburbs.
No, I think it's an accident. I think they just ran out of money when they got to the outer districts and they're like, dress them all in sackcloth and rags. We blew all the money on funny hairstyles and
face paint
and wigs and satiny suit jackets. So, here's a question for you, James.
Sure.
Throughout the series, do we ever see Stanley Tucci with his hair down? Because I think that would be simply stunning. Because he's got a beautiful, he's got that beautiful blue like bun on the top.
Knots,
so clearly he's got a lot of hair going on. Does it ever come down?
I think it's a wig. I mean, it's obviously a wig, but I think it's an in-universe wig also.
Oh, I see, right.
Yeah.
It could still come down.
Yeah. Let's think about it, though.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Would you watch a show, a real-world show, which is Stanley Tucci and Toby Jones just doing anything?
Yes, I would. I absolutely would.
They could be touring Europe, or they could be sitting in a barn. I don't care. I would 100% watch that show.
But they have to wear those gaudy outfits.
Okay, sure.
It has to be like 2 to 3 hours of hair and makeup, and then they just show up and they're like, yeah, I was on that show Detectorists. It's really good. Yeah, it's got Gareth from The Office.
I liked it.
Fun. Yeah, it's fun show. Real nice. You know?
It's about friendship.
Yeah.
It's about the finding treasure, but the real treasure is fucking mates or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Not fucking mates. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't think I watched the Christmas special.
Yeah, and then Stanley Tucci could be like, yeah, I was in a couple of Transformers. I don't know what happened in them. It was all blue screen. I don't know. Yeah, I'd watch that, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do we need to recap the plot of The Hunger Games?
Okay, let's do it. Oh, people also say it's just battle. It's just.
It's Battle Royale.
Battle Royale.
Sure.
Sure. It's a million things.
Yeah.
This has been done 1,000 times. But anyway, go on.
All right. It's the future of our Earth, probably.
Yep.
And the world's been broken up into districts.
Yep.
America has.
Yep.
What's it called? Panera Bread.
New America.
It's called Panera Bread.
Panera Bread, yeah.
And
Chris Hemsworth's brother's like, I'm not having this.
That's right.
I'm going to be in some of this movie.
Yeah, but anyway, the districts, they rebelled back in the day.
Yeah.
And then as punishment, the main center cities like, we're going to hold Hunger Games every 100 years.
No, every year.
Nice. I love that.
100 years?
Every 100 years.
I don't think that would be very effective.
So the thing about this is,
The Hunger Games is basically they get a couple of kids from every suburb, 12 or so, and they put them in an arena, and the winner gets like a cool hat and stuff.
nice.
And
the winner's Frankston.
Yeah, never. Anyway, go on.
They seem wholly unprepared. And I know they don't have a lot of resources, but like, I think it's interesting that some districts are just like beautiful, noble children, and then some districts just psychos.
Yeah, but the way it works is
Yes.
the more inner suburbs, the more inner you are, you get resources to train. You're not technically supposed to.
Okay.
And they have the money and the time and the gaudy outfits. So that's how it basically works. It might be an accident, but it's kind of like a class divide.
What?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not like a school.
I thought in the future we'd all be equal.
Yeah, I mean, probably. But in this example, no.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. So, archery got big again off the back of this, right?
Absolutely, it would have, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, apparently, because of Katniss Everdeen, played wonderfully by Jennifer Lawrence, by the way, I think she does a really good job. This is according to a Washington Post article from 2012, that USA Archery, the National Association focused on the sport, saw a 161% growth in its Facebook fans over the 15 months after this movie because of Katniss. Some people would say, well, what about Hawkeye from the Avengers? But no one's looking at the Avengers and going, yeah, that guy.
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess he's the most, achievable in terms of abilities.
There'd be a 1,000% increase in fatalities of people attempting to build their own Iron Man suits.
Yeah.
Just rocket boots flinging them out of their shed into a ditch or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you think there was an increase in sales of those comedy arrows that go through your head, but they're not actually going through your head? It's just a little band goes across your head,
100%, mate.
That's right.
Do you think there was an increase in people taking on elaborate cake making skills and painting themselves into rocks?
Yes.
What an incredible thing to put in a movie.
Right.
My God.
Also, 90% of his body's just under some leaves. Just put the rest of your body under some leaves, Peter.
I laugh when I see it, Mason. It's really funny.
Yeah.
How did he even... And as soon as she shows up, he's just like, yep, all right, I'm up. And he just... Days of work. How long does that even take?
Had he been stabbed or whatever?
Yeah, he's been stabbed.
Did he put the makeup on and then sort of hunker down for the night, or do you think he laid down and then he put the makeup on?
He would have laid down, I think, because he was really plastered into it.
He was very plastered.
Was
lucky they let him bring in a trowel.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. Here's something I think this movie does well, though, aside from that incredible scene, is that it's really good at ratcheting up the tension leading up to the Hunger Games. You're kind of disorientated. Lenny Kravitz is like, have a good time, or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And just that tension, and then the sound design when the arena kind of opens up and everybody's running wild and stabbing each other. All good stuff, Mason. I love all of that.
Sure. I think some would say, though, it took a really long time to get to that, didn't it?
Sure.
Those of us with shorter attention spans were like, geez, there's a lot of setting up and trying on different outfits, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a lot of little trips on trains, isn't there?
Yeah, yes, but I think you need that
Yeah,
to establish the universe and the characters and all of that. And you look at Jack Quaid and you go, Jack Quaid, you fucking dog.
Right?
You know?
Jack Quaid's in this.
Yeah.
I have a complete inability to recognize people until they're in like 5 major productions. So
Sure, yeah.
I had seen this before, but I had no idea he's in this.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't the Jack Quaid that we know now, obviously.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Speaking of dogs, though, I think if there's one part where this movie really falls down, it's
I've got one, and I think it's a different one, but all right.
mine's the mutant muscular dogs that show up at the end.
Right.
Now, I don't get that, right? Because say you're down to 3 or 4 members of your Hunger Games
Yes, sure.
event, your arena, and then they're like, release the mutant dogs. What if they kill everybody? Do the dogs win?
I mean, that's a great, that's a great question, and it's can only be answered by because the plot. It's the same reason like Squid Game works in the show and not necessarily in real life. Because what if everybody fell over in that first game? What if everybody, the thing where the thing turns and it looks at you? What if everyone just fell over?
Yeah.
And there were no people to go to the next game? Well, I guess it's
You've made all
then.
the games for nothing.
That's right.
You've baked all that honeycomb for nothing,
That's
Mason.
right. Oh my God, but if you work there, you get to take a bunch home. You get to take home as much as you wanted. Oh my God. Oh. I've been in a sugar coma for weeks.
I love honeycomb. It's my favorite thing, Mason. But I think, though, the version of the dogs that they do here is better than in the books. Oh, by the way, it's the 74th Hunger Games. The next one's the 75th. That's why Katniss has to come back. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about it next week if we don't die. So, in the book, they're reanimated contestants who have died. And they mutate them into, like, dog creatures.
Huh.
So I think it's better than that. But I also think, don't do the dogs.
Would you have preferred just regular
No,
zombies?
just don't do dogs.
Don't do dogs. Okay, right.
You don't need it.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Look,
fine.
I mean, the thing that I would be critical about this, and obviously the plot, but it's that it's very convenient and handy that Katniss never has to make any difficult decisions to kill anyone who's a good person.
That's
All
true.
she has to do is kill psychos.
Yeah.
Like, the game would go completely differently if in that opening skirmish, like, all the psychos wounded each other so severely that they all just died off over the course of the next couple of days, and then the rest of the movie is just Katniss, like, stalking and slaughtering 12-year-old girls who never wanted to be in there in the first place. And she's like, yeah, but my district would get a lot of bread for this. Bang. Bang.
Oh, she found a gun?
She found a gun, yeah.
Lenny Kravitz told her it was under a rock or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's right. But yeah, it's always just like, she makes friends with a little girl,
Yeah.
and then the little girl is killed by a psycho, and then she's like, well, I hope I don't. That was handy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very convenient.
But I don't have to make any tough decisions. I don't. Don't worry about it.
That's right.
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth would be upset, wouldn't he? Probably.
Does she have to make more difficult decisions in later movies?
Yeah, but it's more like philosophical than literal, I think.
Yeah, right.
A lot of it, yeah.
Or do I have to kill Donald Sutherland?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And the answer is no. She kills Julianne Moore. Spoiler alert for the 4th one. We'll be coming back.
Look, I tell you one thing.
If we're alive.
Oh, I think one thing that this does do is it really makes you want to get those guys.
Oh,
Get
Mason.
all those Richie Riches with their stupid powdered wigs and their stupid makeup and their stupid cultivated facial hair. Don't look at any old photos of me. Don't do it. Don't look at any of them on social media. But God, you just wanna see them get wrecked.
Yeah.
You just want them to get poisoned and narrowed and all the sorts of stuff. Oh my
completely
God.
agree.
I mean, maybe not Elizabeth Banks, but probably. But
Yeah,
definitely.
why not? I mean, she's there.
She's there, Yeah.
Anyways, you know what it's time for?
What's it time for?
The Hung Trivia. This is the trivia section of the show. Here we go. Whilst horsing around on set, Jennifer Lawrence accidentally kicked Josh Hutcherson in the head, knocking him out and resulting in a concussion.
Whoa, that's Peter?
That's Peter.
Okay. Well, they probably just took advantage of that. The scene with the makeup's probably not in the book. They probably she knocked him out and they just went, fun prank. Let's roll him into a ditch and put some weird makeup on him. Bit of fun.
Woody Harrelson is a vegan.
What is Jennifer Lawrence part horse? Roundhouse kicking people in the head.
She seems like a kind of horse girl energy. You get a bit of that? That's not a criticism, that's a compliment.
Yeah, but I know, but I don't think that gives you the ability.
No?
No, I don't think.
I thought that's how it works.
I don't think skill at equestrian pursuits enables you to kick people in their head horse style.
Okay, that might be true. We might look it up after the show.
Okay.
But anyways, Woody Harrelson is a vegan in real life. So in the scenes where Haymitch is seen eating, he's either eating a dessert or vegetables or just drinks.
That's pretty cool.
I agree. During a New York Magazine interview, Wes Bentley said that the extremely unusual beard he wore as Seneca, whatever his name, Seneca.
Wes
Bentley was styled from his own real beard, not created from applied pieces or extra hair.
Well, there you go.
Very impressive. Unlike Woody Harrelson, his stupid wig, am I right? That barefoot bastard. Put some shoes on, you animal.
Put some shoes on, clean up your act, tuck your shirt in.
Tuck your shirt in, mate.
God.
Jennifer Lawrence is actually left-handed in real life, but in the
Left-handed in real life.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yuck. But in the movie, it appears
It is yuck.
But in the movie, it appears that she's right-handed because she had to learn to do everything with her right hand, including shooting with a bow and arrow.
Well, that's what you have to do when you're a left-hander.
But why not just be like left-handed? It's fine.
I don't think anybody would know.
Didn't they switch Ron Perlman for Hellboy? Like they?
No, they were going to, I think.
Okay.
But then he learned to do because Hellboy's.
This is left-hand erasure.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, because Hellboy has a right hand of doom. So they were like, well, how's he going to fire a gun with his left hand? But he learned to do it.
He learned to use his other hand
because he was paid a lot of money
to hold a gun. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the answer there is if Katniss is right-handed in the book, the fans would notice.
Fair enough. No. Second unit director Steven Soderbergh shot much of the District 11 riot scenes because he's friends with the director.
Steven Soderbergh, director of Ocean's 11.
Yeah, and 12.
Remake, not the original.
No,
not the original.
Not the yuck. We have a video. Yuck. And here's some other names who went for the role. Emma Roberts, Chloe Grace Moretz, Mary Mouser, Haley Steinfeld.
Mary Mouser?
Yeah. Okay. Abigail Breslin, Lindsay Fonseca, Saoirse Ronan, Emily Browning, Australia's own.
Oh, yeah.
Brie Larson, and Shailene Woodley. Some of these people got their own teen dystopian movies, didn't they? Yeah, there's a few of them in here.
Listen, you weren't right for this role, but we've got so many of these. Just pick one and you can have it, honestly. This is the big one. We're very concerned about the quality of that one. Any of those others, just take it.
Yeah, we don't care. Yeah.
Do it in your own backyard. We don't care.
We won't finish it. We might do two.
That's right.
More likely one.
Yeah. Divergent. What's that one about? I don't know. You can have it. Just make up your own meaning for it.
Now, to talk return on this, my goodness, Mason, on a budget of $78 million, it made $694. Huge hit, Mason.
That's a big return.
Absolutely. And I think we should do a section every week called Getting Paid. Because I think it's interesting to know how much Jennifer Lawrence gets paid for each of these movies. So for this one, she was paid the high fee of $500,000.
Oh, that's low.
But she gets, well...
I mean, it's not low for...
It's low
We're
for
in
this.
Hollywood mode right now.
Yeah. Considering what it made. But there's going to be a big update in the following weeks, Mason.
All right.
So next week, we're coming back to The Hunger Games. Do another Hunger Games, Jennifer Lawrence.
Nice. Still so hungry. Hunger Games 2. Ooh, a bit peckish.
Yeah, a bit peckish.
Still a bit peckish on account of the inequality.
Yeah, which may have been an accident. I don't know whether they meant to put
Might have
that
been.
in. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to Two Cool Guys Talk About Movies. That's right, Mason. It's a rebrand, and we're doing it in the middle of this Hunger Games franchise.
I love that. Good rebrand. With
Accurate,
hot stuff.
Yep.
There's nothing cooler than two cool adult men in their middle age talking about the movie adaptation of a young adult novel.
The second movie adaptation.
Second one.
Yeah, that's right. Please leave a like because we are
Please leave a like. We're rebranding as Cool Dudes.
We need this to work. We're going to be talking about the Hunger Games, Catching Feelings and Fire.
Nice. I love that.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Do you think that's the metaphor?
Yeah. And it's like the fires for like revolution.
Oh.
That might be an accident. I don't know if that's on purpose.
You think so?
A lot of the political themes here, I feel like they're not done on purpose.
Yeah, I think so. It's probably all an accident. Yeah. I mean, to spoil it, there's no really definitive link between, this oppressive government, crushing these young people down and them, fighting back against that. I think it's just a coincidence. I think Katniss slips at one point.
Yes, that's fun. She shoots Alan Richardson at one point.
That's right.
We'll talk about him. Anyways, Katniss has PTSD from doing a big Hunger Games.
Ooh, I'm Katniss. I'm traumatized by all the killing I had to do in the Hunger Games.
Ooh, it's Jack Quaid. I killed him in the last one. Here he is.
Ooh, I made a little friend. She was a little girl, and then she got an axe to the head or whatever. Ooh, I saw it. Ooh, I'm sad. Get over it. You're rich now or whatever. You got all the grain you could ever want. You stuffed your pockets with grain.
Oh my God, you could give it to all the people and all the birds.
That's right.
The Mockingjays, potentially.
Or just some dirty pigeons.
Yeah, whatever. That's easy. Now, you can see in this, obviously, that the budget has increased. I mean, you don't need to look any further than the hologram cubed people that you practice hitting.
Absolutely.
That's all good stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to look any further than Elizabeth Banks' face, where she's requested just a less freakish makeup routine for this entire thing. Less unpleasant, please. More normal.
Yeah, it is
Well, because the freakish colour palettes are cheaper.
Now, Gary Ross, who directed the first film, he was offered to return as director, but he declined. He said this was a hard decision, but he preferred to both write and direct the sequel, and it was impossible to do so because the turnaround on this was like 1 year.
Yeah, right.
So Francis Lawrence took over this one and the subsequent ones we will be talking about. Now, of course...
Also, mate, you didn't write the last one. Whoever wrote the book wrote it.
Suzanne
Summers.
Boyle.
Suzanne Boyle.
We should find that out.
We did. It's Susan Boyle. Winner of...
Suzanne Collins.
There you go.
Yeah. Winner of what? Winner of Irish Ugly People Sing or whatever.
That's right.
Also, she looks like a normal woman. Do you
Yeah.
remember there was like 10 years where they were like, look how ugly this woman is. But
Yeah.
she can sing.
That's right.
But don't forget how ugly she is.
Well, I think all of you are ugly in your hearts. And also, I've got a different standard of beauty, and I think you're physically ugly also. And you've had too much surgery. And shut up.
Now, speaking of things that aren't ugly, Mason, it's the love triangle in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's fully blossomed, right? So President Snow, he decides...
He's not in the love triangle.
No, I know, but he decides to put...
Oh, this is preamble.
Yeah, that's right. It's preamble. He decides to put Peter and Katniss on a rebellion tour for some reason.
Yeah.
Presumably, he was tricked into this.
It's
a fucking terrible idea.
It's their "we're sorry for party rocking" tour, is what it is, because they did too much party rocking, and everybody's like, maybe we'll do some party rocking as well. And then the government's like, don't do any party rocking. So then they have to go around and be like, we didn't actually mean to party rock. We actually just meant we didn't do it for rebellion styles. We didn't do it Corey Worthington style.
Oh my God.
Australian party boy Corey Worthington.
I've got a really good Australian reference later on as well. Don't you even worry.
Great. But we're going to tour around to say actually party rocking is bad. So
and staying in and being nice to the
getting-
government.
getting married for the government and having a baby for the government are actually good, actually.
That's right, actually, yeah. Now, we talked about love triangles when we covered the Twilight movies.
Nonce.
Are you team Peter or are you team Chris Hemsworth's brother?
I think I'm Team Peter.
Okay.
Just because we don't really know anything about Gale.
Yeah.
We know he has incredible hair for a beautiful man living in squalor. Like, just even when he's just been whipped until an inch of his life,
man.
he's still just that perfect. Oh my God, he's probably got 2 or 3 products in there, you know what I mean?
I would say he would. He'd
Yeah.
probably have maybe a sea spray kind of that you put in with wet hair, then a mousse for
Yeah.
volume,
Yeah.
and then maybe some kind of paste to give it some texture.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then he warms it over a fire to have it set in. He warms it over a burning bin. But I mean, all we really see him as is kind of the jealous boyfriend for most of this movie. It's kind of like, what do you keep going away and doing the Hunger Games? I don't know, maybe because our entire society's built around it, Gale.
Yeah.
But then, and Peter, it's like, on the one hand, he's kind of like, well, Katniss, I love you, but I don't really love you. I'm just acting. But I'm not acting. I do love you. But then we see them bond in real time.
In real time.
In real time, and then through the Hunger Games and so forth, and they've got to deal with all this business together.
They certainly do.
Apologize for party rocking and so forth.
Which they should have.
Yeah. So I'm kind of on his side, but then again, it's Chris Hemsworth's brother, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, here's what I think it is. Peter is nice and he's brave and he has excellent cake decorating skills. I would even say life-saving cake decorating skills,
Doesn't
right?
really employ him in this one, though, does he?
No, he paints a mural of a dead girl,
Yeah.
which is his...
In cake?
Yeah.
Oh, Peter, you've done so well. This is so beautiful. Wait a second.
Yeah. Is it a beautiful homage to a dead girl or is it cake? That would probably be a TV show in this universe, I assume.
Absolutely.
So we got all of that on the Peter side.
Yeah.
But then Chris Hemsworth's brother, he's taller. And if I know anything from watching just exclusively Manosphere content,
Absolutely.
that means he will win out in the end.
That's right.
And that's like real life.
Yeah. I imagine...
That's all women are interested in.
If we're gonna
They
draw-
only want tall. This is what people tell me on the internet.
If we're going to draw a series of green lines, Chris Hemsworth's brother is going to be a straight up line, and Peter's going to be leaning in. You're leaning in and broken to signify submission. You know what I mean? And that's just embarrassing, you know?
Exactly.
We're rebranding again. We're Manosphere guys. Before we were cool guys who love movies, now we're Manosphere guys.
Now, Philip Seymour Hoffman shows up in this, the late great.
I've written Philip Seymour Hoffman on all in caps here because
you're
I'm
not
like,
wrong.
yeah, damn.
As Plutarch Heavensklurt. Don't give him that name. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Impossible. But he's obviously terrific. He has great scenes with Donald Sutherland.
What kind of dress is she going to wear? Floggings. What's the cake going to look like? Executions.
I love all of that. He gets a lot of play in this, but then more so in the next movie, and then not as much the last one because, of course, he died while making these movies. I also think the inclusion of Commander Thread as the head of the Stormtroopers, that's a good villain. Just a flat-out terrible bloke.
Absolutely. Who doesn't come back, I don't think.
Oh, doesn't he?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah. I'd remember him getting his.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like there'll probably be a riot and he'll get his in a riot or something.
yeah, okay, yeah,
I don't know.
nice, okay.
We'll see. Anyways.
Maybe somebody will just finally tell him he's wrong.
Yeah.
They'll stand up to him in a shopping centre or something.
You're actually being really inappropriate
Yeah.
right now, and you're cancelled. Anyway, forget all of that because we've got to get back to the Hunger Games, Mason. This is the 75th version, and this time around, they're bringing in previous tributes, right? And what I think is interesting about this group is some of them have clearly kept it up. They're match fit, and
sure.
some of them clearly went the route of Warwick Kappa.
Oh, that's your local reference.
That's my local reference. Australian VFL legend. He's still out and about.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's still somewhat active.
Okay.
But maybe just leave him alone. Don't look at him.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, certainly Sam Claflin has gone with the Warwick Kappa frosted tips, you know.
But nothing else about him is Warwick Kappa, I feel.
They've both got a pucker shell necklace vibe. I don't know if either of them is currently wearing
That
one.
is true.
But no, you're absolutely right. And what I love about this version of the Hunger Games, or of course they're like you said, they're drawing straws to get previous winners in to increase the thrill level. It's a real Australian Idol All Stars edition or whatever.
Yeah.
What I like about it is that this Hunger Games is going to give Katniss the opportunity to kill intellectuals and the elderly.
Finally.
Yeah, I mean, last time was just kids, you know?
Oh, God. I do love the idea of, this is a brand new Hunger Games like you've never seen before. There's some old people here.
This will be slow.
You can kill them. You can watch them die. You can just leave them. One of them will just walk into a fog.
Maybe if they don't do as much killing early on, we'll set a poisonous fog on them. They'll burn all their skin off. They'll all die. We'll just kill them in a poison fog. You'd like to see that, wouldn't you? That's thrilling.
Okay,
Maybe while they're asleep.
I think a problem with this movie is that they really step up the in-arena shenanigans.
Okay,
and I think it's to the detriment of what the Hunger Games is really about, and that is just flat-out murder. And I think they step it up because they know that the alliances are going to be tighter.
Yeah, right.
I think they know that, but force fields and lightning trees and monkeys and poison fog and water coming out of trees and talking birds who have mimicked...
Do you think the water coming out of trees, do you think that was part of
It's too far. Just put a tap in. It's fine. It's too complicated.
Okay.
I don't have time for any of that.
Get maybe just one of those big plastic drums of orange cordial that McDonald's rents out to sports games. That's a local reference.
That's a local reference. Yeah, the thing is, right, because in the last one, there is an element of you need to learn how to survive. But in this one, they're just in a giant clock of death that never stops. So I think you should pull back on the can you start a fire shit, you know?
Right,
There's no time for that.
I think what they should probably do is just cancel the Hunger Games entirely.
Me too.
And just replace it with a show that's just well, look at all the cool stuff we made.
Yeah.
We made a nanotech panther or whatever. We made these monkeys do whatever we want. Look at that.
Poison fog.
Force field. Try and get through that. Got a bloke hit it with a hammer, you can't get through it. Can't even see it.
Are you saying that to risk putting in another local reference, they do their version of Australia's own Beyond 2000?
Absolutely, I think they should do Beyond 2000.
Great.
That's a car that can turn into a boat.
It was always a car that could turn into a boat, by the way. If anybody's seen that show, it was exclusively about that. Anyways, I feel like all that stuff, though, it distracts from everyone killing each other. And that's the stuff that I like. I don't need a monkey fight, right?
Right.
There's too many mates. Right?
Too many alliances is what you're saying.
Too many alliances.
Okay, because you figured they would all team up.
Exactly.
Also, it's rich of them to assume that when they're doing the interviews with the former winners of the Hunger Games,
they're going to be cool with it.
They'll all toe the line a bit, because they were all told that, you do that.
You're great and you'll live forever.
You're great and you live forever. And then all of a sudden, they get Stanley Tucci with his blindingly white teeth out there and be like, what do you think about this new Hunger Games? And they're like, I hate it. Why am I here? I hate you. This sucks. Let's do a rebellion. And he's like, I don't know about that. Pretty feisty. Anyway, next contestant. Speaking of, like you mentioned, I love the psychos are better in this.
I do like the colourful cast of characters. You've got a Trident guy. There's a naked woman. Jack Reacher is there. Batman's friend, Commissioner Gordon, makes an appearance.
Right. Amanda Plummer is there.
That's right.
Honey Bunny from Pulp Fiction is in there. That's a freak for sure. Yeah, I'm loving Jenna Malone as this naked weirdo freak.
Yeah.
She's great. Doing great work there. Way more memorable, this group.
Definitely. Now, the big twist at the end of this, everybody in the world is seemingly in on this except for Katniss Everdeen.
That's right.
It's actually, this Hunger Games was orchestrated by one Philip Seymour Hoffman, Plutarch, Sausage Blurg.
Yes.
That it's actually a revolution. It's the beginning of a revolution.
Whoa.
Yeah. And the idea was to do the Hunger Games, but then get Katniss out and use her as a poster, essentially, which we'll talk about more in the follow-up movies. But I think my problem with this is that, well, a couple of things. For one, and you mentioned this last week, Katniss is not making any hard decisions again. She's never in a situation where she has to kill anybody that she likes or choose between two kind of things happening.
Yeah.
She's like, do I save Peter or do I save Chris Hemsworth's brother? Maybe that comes up. I can't remember. But you know what I mean? There's that.
Yeah.
And I also feel like this one definitely feels like...
I loved you in The French Dispatch, Jeffrey Wright. Bang. Bang, bang. I'm so sorry. Bang.
I loved you in the Shaft reboot with Samuel L. Jackson, but not the more recent one. The one in like the early 2000s, Christian Bale's in it. Bang.
She's found that gun again.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz would have told her again before he was savagely beaten to death.
Oh, I'm Katniss, my fashion designer bestie got bashed up and dragged away to his doom. Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Boo. Get over it, God.
God, get over it. But I feel like this one feels like more of a cog in an ongoing saga.
Okay.
But I think the execution of that
But that's what the people want.
No, I know that, but I think the ongoing saga of it isn't as compelling as the original core idea, which is great as like a standalone piece.
Right, okay, sure.
You know?
But don't you think the kids would get bored if it was just a battle royale?
Well, they
every
got
time?
bored because they drop off in quality and box office, which we'll talk about. Now, I know last week we talked about like how would you survive the Hunger Games, and we came to the conclusion that I would run off a cliff accidentally, and you would just be the best, and you would win.
Sure.
Yeah. Now that is true. I don't want to go with that again. Also, because the start is water-based, I'm no good here. Like I can swim because everyone in Australia, you have to swim. It's just something that they make you do. But I'm not that good.
They fill up the classroom with water and they let a shark in. And you just got to deal with that.
That's right. So look, I wouldn't survive at all. But what would you do for your 10 minutes to show the aristocracy what you can do?
Well,
would you paint a dead girl? Would you hang a mannequin that looks like Wes Bentley?
Oh, maybe I'd put a fancy outfit on and everybody would be like, that's a pretty normal fancy outfit. And then I'd push a button and it'd be all on fire. Yawn. Boring. Just keep doing that, Katniss.
Yeah.
Yawn.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But to answer your question, I do yo-yo tricks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you do walk the dog?
Yes.
Would you do round the world?
Yes.
It's not that impressive though, so you're gonna have to follow it up with something else.
2 yo-yos.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't get the point of that. You're showing these people what you can do because you get a ranking, but like, it's not that important. I think it'd be more important to just not let anybody know that you can do anything. I think that would be the play, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And in my case, that would be true. They'd bring me in, they'd be like, you got 10 minutes, and I'd be like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to sing? I can't. I will, but I can't.
Oh, I can do 10 minutes of crowd work.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Oh, Pan Am, the capital. What do you do? Oh, you're part of the fascist society, impressing the disenfranchised. Ha ha! Good on you, buddy. Good on you, mate.
Score of 9.
Anyway, it's time for the Hung Trivia. Catching Trivia. This is the trivia section of the show.
I love that.
Here we go. Just got a few this week. So all 3 of Ed Sheeran's songs submitted for the film's soundtrack were turned down.
Ouch.
That must sting.
I don't know if my songs fit in films.
Do you want them to?
I mean, yeah, that's what I pitched them.
They might have been good ones, or they weren't. I didn't look into it.
That must sting. He probably looks at his multi-billion-dollar bank balance every day and he's like, oh, I wish
I was in Hunger Games too. At least I got to be in Game of Thrones and everyone screamed at me. Remember that?
Yeah.
Just let him be in Game of Thrones. He's rich. Let him do what he wants.
Let him do what he wants. Seems like a nice man with bad tattoos.
Yeah. Now, do you want to know how Haymitch won his Hunger Games? This is in the book.
Did he cry until they just let him have it?
Yeah, basically. So Hamish Abernathy, that's his name, he won the 50th Hunger Games, which was the second quarter quell. And as a result...
So they just let him in the quarter quell?
Yeah, well, I guess.
He was just straight up in the quarter quell?
Well, the quarter quell isn't normally get everybody who's previously done it.
Oh.
This was a ploy.
This was a ploy. I thought it might have been.
Or an accident. to kill Katniss or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But as a result of it being the quarter quell, there was twice as many tributes. So he lured the last remaining tribute to a force field in his arena, and she was killed when she threw an axe at him, which bounced off the force field and flew back to her.
Whoa.
She didn't catch it. Hit her in the face. And she died.
Wow.
And he went, great. I'm taking my shoes off and I'm getting drunk for the next 25 years. And one more bit of trivia, but it's just going to be a clip. Have you seen the interview with Woody Harrelson and Liam Hemsworth where something comes up about Chris Hemsworth and then Woody Harrelson puts it together that they're brothers?
No, I've not seen that.
Well, here it is.
A brother called Chris.
That's right. He has a movie coming out this weekend.
He's got a movie coming out.
Where he plays Chris Van Vliet, CBS Cleveland.
Just now. And you do have the same last name now that I think about it. Honestly, never put that together.
Cheers to them.
We never talked about it. Oh my God. Never even occurred to me.
That's
now that he mentions it, I totally get it. I totally get it.
You know, if I were Liam Hemsworth, I probably would have used that moment to put together the thing about how Woody Harrelson's dad's a hitman or whatever for the mafia. Oh, is that your dad? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Is it Woody? Is it?
Oh, Matthew McConaughey's maybe your brother or something, which is the thing you've been saying recently. Is that true? Why don't you get a test then? Or you don't want to? Then it's not true, isn't it? Now, the cost of this movie, on a budget, an increased budget, because of all those hologram cube boys, of $140 million, the box office return was $865 million, which is actually the peak of this franchise.
Oh, no, but there's 2 more movies to go.
2 more movies, Mason. You're right.
Downhill. But I mean, you know, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Even a slight dip.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about this last week, but one thing that is not going to be dipping is the paycheck of one Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, yes.
So instead of the $500,000 which she got for the first one, this time around she got $10 million.
Damn.
Worth every penny?
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah. She's good in this role.
I agree. It's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
I don't think anybody should get paid anything.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways, come back next week for Hunger Games Part 1.
No.
Mocking the presidents, no. Just sticking it to him.
Yeah.
Part 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With 10 minutes of powerful insult comedy.
President Snow's so old that he was in the original MASH movie.
Ooh.
And that's true.
That is true.
It's a true fact.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to Caravan of Garbage, where we're talking Hunger Games movies.
I love it.
Do you love books being split up, etc.?
Yeah, you know, sometimes I want to take a long train trip or whatever, so I'll just get my copy of War and Peace and I'll just chop it down the middle.
Nice.
Take half with me.
Which half?
Top half. Just a cliffhanger on every single page.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Now this week we are, of course, talking The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1
Oh, yes.
from 2014. A movie that continued the trend of splitting the final book into 2.
Because Harry Potter done it.
Because Harry Potter did it and it worked that one time.
Harry Potter done it.
Because Harry Potter done it that one time.
Who else done it?
Twilight?
Yeah, Twilight done it.
Maybe Divergent?
Yeah, Divergent would have done it, eh?
They would have Divergented it.
That's right.
Anyways, leave a like, because I have a question for you, Mason.
Go on.
Now, the first 2 movies, they were like, we're doing Hunger Games.
Oh, yes.
You know, both times.
There was almost no Hunger Games in this.
Exactly. Do you like the direction this has taken into Revolution? Does it appeal to you?
I mean, an accidental revolution, is that fun?
Sure.
Because they accidentally slipped their way into it. They just fell into it, as far as we know.
Yeah, it seems
that's our
that way.
working theory for people who are only catching up now. We think this revolution started by accident.
Yeah, none of this means anything and it's all an accident. Yeah.
See, I don't know, because I've had barely enough time to watch this movie. I haven't had enough time to go back and rewatch the previous movies and go, were there clues there that Gale was in on this revolution? Or they just dropped it on us, you know what I mean? They dropped it on us in the last one. They're like, everybody's involved except you, Katniss. And now we've got everybody. We've got everybody in the world in this.
Oh, that is true, yeah. I don't think so. He just did a lot of like, well, why are you doing a Hunger Games? It's like, because they put my name in this. What do you mean?
It's not very revolutionary, is it, Katniss? If you know what I mean. I don't know what you mean, Gale. I'm lost in your eyes, Gale. I don't know what you mean.
I want to get back to that love triangle situation. But for me, the idea of this turning into a revolution, I like that idea, but it feels really paper thin when you take that book and you split it up like this.
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very long establishing shots in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like, wow, they're really panning over that city. Still panning. Big pan. I mean, it's a big city. Still more panning.
I'm going to start panning this movie in a minute.
I'll just skip forward 15 seconds. Oh, they're still panning. All right.
Yeah, well, Francis Lawrence, who directed 3 of these movies and the new prequel, he came out recently and said, I maybe shouldn't have done that. I mean, I also think it probably wasn't his decision.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
But he said, I totally regret it. I totally do. I'm not sure everybody does, but I definitely do. In an episode of television, if you have a cliffhanger, you have to wait a week, or you could just binge it and then you see the next episode. But making people wait a year, I think, came across as disingenuous, even though it wasn't. In truth, we got more on the screen out of the book than we would have in any other movies because you're getting close to 4 hours of screen time for the final book. But I see and understand how it frustrated people.
And then he said, plus I got paid twice, lol.
Exactly.
And that's honest, and you got to respect that.
Absolutely, yeah. So look, we'll talk about box office as well, but you can see why this is not the franchise that it could have potentially been.
Okay, yeah.
They could have really hammered home a really tight, just a tight 5, you know?
A tight 5 minute movie.
Yes. Yeah.
We've got you, Donald Pleasance. You did get me. It's fair. Bye, everyone.
Donald Pleasance? We've got you, Donald Pleasance. What? What did I do?
I'm thinking of Donald Sutherland. Who's Donald Pleasance again?
He's from The Great Escape.
Oh, yeah.
He's, not Jason.
Well, this guy's more like Donald Unpleasance, isn't he?
He is.
Because he's a real meanie.
He's in Halloween. You know him.
Oh, he's Loomis.
He's Loomis.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
right.
Exactly. Anyways, I did a bit of a deep dive, Mason, because I have read these books, but it was a
Okay.
long time ago. And I'm going to tell you what each district is famous for.
Okay.
Did you know any of this?
Like agriculture or dancing or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great.
So District 1
Okay.
is luxury items.
Oh, and weeing
And weeing,
is
yeah.
a District 1.
That's right. You know, it's your soaps.
Oh,
it's,
my God.
Bath salts,
sure,
bath
sure.
bombs, anything you can get at the body shop, essentially.
That gold stuff you put on food to make it like fancy food, you know?
Yeah, but it's not good.
No, it's not good.
Yeah.
But it's a $200 burger now because it's got gold on it.
Absolutely. District 2 is masonry and defense and poop.
Yeah, thank you.
District 3 is General Electrics. So that's GE, obviously.
Sure. Not branded General Electric.
GE, that's
Okay,
right.
great.
Yep.
Terrific.
District 4 is fishing.
Okay.
District 5 is power/electricity.
Okay.
Wait, General Electrics and Power Electric. I guess one is items. One is goods.
One's blenders and so forth.
One's your washers and dryers.
smart fridges.
Exactly. District 6, transportation. District 7, lumber.
Okay. District 8, lumbar. the thing with your back and
That's
stuff.
right. That and also...
Chiropractic.
Oh, God. That and also textiles.
Okay.
District 9 is grain. District 10 is livestock.
Okay.
District 11, agriculture. District 12 is coal.
Rubble.
Oh, Now
Rubble.
it's rubble, but it was coal. And District 13 is grey fatigues.
Yeah, and revolution.
And revolution.
That's right. Which would you rather be in if you're going to have to produce one of those? I reckon fishing. That'd be a nice day, I reckon.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, is it fishing in the sense that you go out on a lake and you got a little boat, you're sitting with your mate and you're having a few tinnies?
I can only assume so.
Or is it like a big artificial pond and you dredge it with a huge net?
Well, I don't like that, so I think I just simply do the first one.
Sure.
They'd be like, get out of there on the trawler and sweat to the bone and bloody do. And I'd be like, no, I'm gonna put my straw hat on.
Yep.
And I'm gonna get out on the lake and just
Have a good time.
have a summer that lasts forever, you know?
Yeah, that's right. But in the novels, the backstory of District 13 was actually the capital center of nuclear development.
Oh.
And that might come into play, but I don't think it does.
I love that.
Yeah. I do quite like the idea that you have to market a war.
Okay,
You know,
sure.
that you got to sell it to the people.
Okay,
You need your figureheads. You
sure,
need your
sure, sure.
Mockingjays.
Uh-huh.
And the idea to rally behind Katniss Everdeen, it makes sense. And it's interesting how she's being manipulated by all sides, including, the revolutionary leaders like Julianne Moore and Philip Seymour Hoffman and the like. I hope she doesn't get shot with an arrow in the next movie. Oh, I do?
Unlike that Donald Pleasance. I'm leaning into it now.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's an interesting look at kind of the marketing behind a war and inspiring people and all of that.
And I also think I bet they had a really good time on set in that bit where she has to pretend she's a bad actress. Where they all had a bloody,
That's
just an
what I was going to
absolute
say.
ball.
I think she's good at acting like she's not a good actor.
There you go.
That's a hard line
That's a
to
skill.
walk.
That's a skill.
Absolutely.
But I bet they were all in the room like, imagine if any of us were bad actors.
Just the thought of it. And you get your good moments where she wants to do it for real and she visits a hospital and you're like, okay, people are affected by this. I guess this movie does have some things happening in it. It's not just establishing shots. Yeah, baby. But maybe you shouldn't have shot that plane into the hospital. They did, right?
It seems that's what happened, yeah. Nobody says it out loud. They go, they bombed the hospital. I mean, they bombed it a bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then all the remaining bombs on the plane fell in the hospital because they were on the plane. You shot and then it went into the hospital.
I know they would have bombed the hospital regardless, like if they didn't shoot down the
Yeah.
plane. But it's interesting because they show the footage of what happened and how they shoot down the planes, and then they cut before it hits the hospital. So even they know what happened, right?
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
How do you like this idea that Katniss has gone from like, yeah, she's pretty good at like shooting a deer in the woods to like, yeah, she could shoot down a bomber with a explosive
fine.
tipped arrow. Okay.
In one of the movies, she shoots a bird out of the air, and that's probably hard.
Yeah.
I assume.
It's about the same.
Just so everybody knows, Mason's eating twisties
I'm eating
during
twisties.
this. Chicken twisties, yuck.
No, they're regular twisties. I like chicken twisties.
Okay. Now, I think we haven't given him enough credit, or I haven't at least.
Who are you talking about?
Donald Sutherland,
Who?
Donald Pleasance.
Thank you.
He's such an incredible villain in this. President Snow, hashtag not my president. Because frankly, like, I don't like his actions. I just want to make
Okay.
that clear.
You voted for him.
I voted for him, but did you see the other side?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Whoever it was?
Yeah, it's a great point.
I just
actually,
didn't
yeah.
like them that much.
Lesser of two evils. I respect that.
What do you think the capital's horticultural budget is?
It's a great point. Not only do they have enough flowers for themselves, they've got enough flowers to just fling them on battlefields, don't they?
Exactly. It's kind of insane, right? I don't know. I feel like he does come undone, but his long game, it's too long, mate.
You think?
need to tighten this up.
Yeah, right.
Like he's enjoying the cat, no pun intended, and mouse aspect of it a little too much. You know? He wants to have a conversation. He wants to know that, he's getting under your skin. But dude, you're actually doing a bad job at stamping out this revolution.
Yeah, I reckon you should just kill her.
You could have poisoned all those flowers.
That's a great point, actually.
Could've done anything.
Get it on film.
Could have just had someone wait in the rubble and shoot her when she turns up, being all morose. Oh, what happened? Bang.
Wow.
That's what I would do.
Uh-huh. You could have had one of those bombers drop a bomb on her and not on that hospital.
That's a good idea also. Yeah. Let's get back to the love triangle, though.
Okay. The important part.
The important part, that's right.
Revolution, smevolution.
I agree.
What about the kissing?
What about the kissing? So how do you feel about this love triangle now? I know you're on Team Peter last week.
Was
But
I?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Mate, yeah, sure. But now that he's skinny Peter,
Oh, yes.
and he's a traitor, as everyone says,
Uh-huh.
he's not being coerced, he's just a flat-out traitor. How do you feel about him now? How do you feel that he choked Katniss unconscious?
That's poor form, I think. You know?
Yeah.
She had a hand in getting him rescued, and he's like, I don't like that. I'd rather be in the capital. I'd rather be in a capital all strung out and weird. My hair getting ever blonder. That's what I want.
I mean, he didn't say that, but that's what you think he was thinking?
That's what I think he was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, he was having a good
I
luxury
want to go
time.
back to the capital.
Yeah. I mean, sure, like, he's been poisoned and manipulated and mind controlled and brainwashed and all
If
of
you
that.
say so.
If I say so. And they CGI'd him skinny, which
yes.
a lot of people said, how did he do that? They did it using the Chris Evans skinny Captain America thing, I assume.
Got a skinny guy and
Got a
put his-
skinny guy and whatever.
Put Josh Hutcherson's big head on it.
They also did it to Bella in one of the Twilights.
Oh, yeah,
Remember she got
that's
pregnant
right.
and then she was like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got him, right?
Yeah.
You got skinny, traitorous, strangling Peter.
Yeah.
Then you got Gale. Mm-hmm. He's kind of a psycho. Like, right? Do you get that vibe?
No, I think he's just heaps jelly, you know?
I don't know. I just feel like he's blinded. You know what I mean? Like he likes Katniss or he loves Katniss or he thinks he does. But I don't know. I just feel like he's got this one-track mind of revenge and death and war. Which makes sense because, he had to work in a coal mine and he had to also do his hair at the same time. And that's a rough double life that you're living.
God, you'd never get a break, would you?
I think both of these
Everybody else would get a
options-
smoke break and he'd get a fixing his hair break. You know, you don't have any time to hang out with the boys.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think both of these options are not ideal,
So
really.
you think there should be a third option?
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland? Do you think there's some unresolved tension there?
What about that cool, handsome Trident guy? He's pretty cool.
Yeah, Mr. Trident, yeah.
I'll tell you what. I like this version of Finnick when he's away from the capital, where he doesn't have to put on all this bravado. And they basically he's a sex slave that he just gets, put out and, and all of that. But just seeing this version of him, I think that's an interesting character. That whole thing that he was and did, finding out secrets and all of that and just being used and abused. I thought that was a really kind of interesting character arc where you get him away from that and it just completely disappears. Like he's a completely different person.
Yeah, this movie, for a series of movies based on a young adult novel, it's got some depth.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, I've never read a young adult novel. Maybe they've got some depth.
They've all got depth, Mason.
Okay.
Yeah. I think also Effie Trinket as well, taken away, who was added to this, I believe. They were like, well, we love this character and, we could use her more. I like that aspect of it as well, Bring her in. Let her be like, I'll do some marketing and makeup and whatever,
Yeah, sure.
That's all great stuff. The ending, though, the way it just, slams to a logo and it says, join the fight.
Download the mobile game.
It looks like a Fortnite commercial,
yeah, it really
right?
Does, yeah.
No good.
Yeah, Katniss is trapped in this room, so you got to pull out the key or whatever. Otherwise, it'll fill up with water and bees and stuff. You know those games?
Yeah, I know the games, yeah.
You download it, it's nothing like that.
It's nothing like that at all, yeah. No good, man.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
Yeah.
Went too far.
Yep, agreed. Anyway, it's time for the Hung Trivia, Mocking Trivia, Part 1.
Trivia.
This is the trivia section,
that.
yeah. According to Liam Hemsworth, Jennifer Lawrence would purposefully eat food with garlic or tuna before any kissing scenes between them.
Again, part of the George Clooney school of
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks and on-set prankery.
Absolutely.
And I love that.
Oh, here we go, just to confirm, Mason. In order for Peter to look like he was tortured, many think he went on an extreme diet. You thought that?
I did.
You did 10 minutes before the show just talking about how difficult that would have been and
Yeah,
calorie intake and exercise, mostly cardio you talked about. You want to do not too many weights because you bulk up.
I'm factoring how many twisties you can eat.
None.
Oh.
That would have been hard,
Wow.
right?
Fate worse than death.
But in the end, they used CGI to slim down his face. This was also, of course, dedicated to Philip Seymour Hoffman, who died a week before filming ended. Now, since the majority of his scenes for the final two movies had already been filmed, the role was finished with other characters taking on his lines. Because they talked about how, like, oh no, we've got stuff for the last movie. I think we got all that we needed. But I think in watching that, you'll find that they didn't have much, if anything, of Philip Seymour Hoffman next time around. And here's a bit of wig trivia.
Oh, yes.
Which you know that I love.
I do know that.
Jennifer Lawrence sported a $30,000 wig because normally she's blonde, where of course Katniss is brunette. So to play the character, she decided to wear a wig this time instead of coloring her hair because of, the ongoing damage and the like. And she's doing other roles at this point. She's probably doing a Silver Linings Playbook with Bradley Cooper or whatever.
When is she doing X-Men First Class? Is that later?
First Class was 2011.
Okay, so at this point, her star has risen to the point where she's not dyeing her hair for these movies, and she's not wearing like the full body paint for Mystique.
Exactly.
The X-Men movies, she's just like, wig and a bodysuit, I don't care. I can use them on Halloween too. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter exactly. Now, in terms of cost, the budget of this was between 125 to 140 million, but the box office return was down on the last one, and it was 755.4 million. But I feel like that was because it didn't really have the legs, because it had the biggest opening day of 2014 with 55 million. But I can't imagine people ran out to see this and then went, you have to see this.
You have to see it now because there's going to be another one in a year. The cliffhanger's going to be resolved in a year, so you got to see it now.
That's right. And we talked
Who
about...
am I? What kind of moviegoer am
That's
I?
you. That's what you do.
This is what I sound like after a movie.
And we also talked about, of course, in the first movie she got $500,000. Second movie she got $10 million.
Nice.
This time around, $15 million.
Whoa.
I know, right? Incredible.
How many bags of twisties could you get for that?
You just do the math. What's $1? Is $1 a bag? Maybe.
I thought you.
Would it be $2 a bag? What'd you pay? What'd you pay for
I think
those?
this was $2.99.
$3.
I got it at the service station.
You're right.
They'll rip you off.
They will rip you off, apparently. God.
It's a pretty big bag though.
Yeah, but how much air is it?
It says mostly air. It says cheese twisties brackets mostly air. The mostly air edition.
$3.99 or $2.99?
$2.99. Australian. So you're gonna have to do the conversion.
Not doing any conversion. Oh fuck! I do have to do the conversion. Hang on.
How much of this is staying in?
All of it.
Great.
Like the movie, we need to pad.
Yeah.
So that's $1.88 US a bag, okay? So 15 million divided by $1.88. That's 7,978,723 packets of twisties.
And yes, to answer your question, that's what I think she did with the money. I think her mansion is filled up with packets of twisties.
But specifically the twisties that are sold near my house where we record.
That's correct. Yes, she had them shipped in. You know, sometimes stars will be like, "I got this marble from Italy, and it's part of my bathroom." What do you know? That's twisties. She's like, "I only like the twisties from Melbourne."
Welcome back, everybody, to Caravan of Garbage, where we're wrapping up The Hunger Games series.
Not The Hunger Games series. I think it belongs to the world.
Yeah? Is that what happens?
Yeah,
You
I
make
think so.
art and it goes out in the world and then people
Yep.
forget about it. Is
People do remixes and they stitch it on TikTok or whatever.
that what they're doing?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God.
Just really energy-filled teens doing like riffs on just two middle-aged men
White males.
talking about a young adult novel from.
a decade ago?
Yep.
I'll leave a like if you could, because we are, of course, talking about The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2.
Yeah.
Imagine being really excited for this movie.
Okay.
You wait a full year.
Yes.
And then and then Katniss woke up in a different room.
Okay.
And it was like the next day.
Well, what do you want?
I don't know. This shouldn't be two movies.
What you seem
it's
to be,
ludicrous.
What you seem to be suggesting there is that the next movie should occur in real time based on the amount of time we waited for it. So it should have picked up a year later.
Yeah, when it's all over.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They won and whatever.
Yeah, great.
Coin gets shot with an arrow.
Wow.
Philip Seymour Hoffman lives, the character of.
That's right.
Yeah, look, I think this is better than the last one because it's the one where things happen
Sure.
and, things kick off.
Too many things. Too many weird things. It feels like this was the throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks thing.
Yeah.
Movie.
Because you can't do another Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But how do you make it feel like you're in an arena?
Well, someone says, "Hey, welcome to the next Hunger Games," and we all give a wink, like the early one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no way to engineer like a fake Hunger Games, unless the heroes show up and they get locked in a big arena. But it's essentially that, isn't it? Because the bad guys have tricked out an entire city with traps, and not only traps, but like the most elaborate traps they've ever come up with.
Well, initially I'm like, machine guns are fire, boo, who cares?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, they get a little weird, they get a little creative. There's a little bit of flair associated with some of these. Flowing tar pit that if you get caught in it, you get whipped by chains?
Yeah,
Or something?
Yeah, were they two separate traps, or do you think it's just like...
I think it's part of the goo.
Is it whipping oil?
Yeah, I think so. Mutts in the sewer.
Yeah,
Which is just when it's the movie Aliens for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Just
there's
in the
that.
middle of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn. I mean, and they kill a bunch of people. I mean, Finnick dies.
It's true.
Mahershala Ali dies, who
Boggs.
plays Boggs. Yes. God, do you reckon Marvel will one day let him be Blade?
No. No, never. Because they'd have to finish the script, and they don't do that anymore.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Imagine you're in a future dystopian society, and everybody gets cool names like Katniss and Plutarch, and you're Boggs.
Maybe that is cool in the future.
Might be the coolest name.
Yeah, absolutely. He lost his legs, right?
Yes.
Because it's pretty brutal, but it does that thing where, you turn away from it. You don't show too much. And it's got traps like the light disintegrating beams and whatever. I thought that was a fun thing where you get cubed or whatever by the light. Or it just like shatters you. Love all of that. Yeah, because a big part of this movie is they gotta get into town. They gotta get to the CBD.
Yes, that's right.
The Central Business District, because they have to crack the nut, as it's called.
This is the nut.
And the initial plan is something, but then Jennifer Lawrence takes it over and goes, "No, I just want to shoot Donald Sutherland with an arrow."
Yeah, I'm going to wing this, actually. We got a plan. We're going to wing it.
I've got a hologram map thing that tells us where all the traps are, but not all of the traps. Follow me. Yeah,
They got to bring everybody along. They got to bring along Peter.
Yep.
Even though, he's got the brain problem.
There might be something else going on there, though. I think that's maybe part of a clever scheme.
Oh.
Because he's not supposed to be there because he's not right. He throws that guy into the tar trap at one point, which you're not supposed to do if you're on the same team.
That's right. It's not sporting, is it?
Yeah, it's really not. Maybe he just got caught up. He was like, "Oh, it's the Hunger Games. Let's kill each other." He forgot.
Yeah.
I don't think that was part of the PTSD. I think he just
right.
forgot for a second.
But he's there for propo, as we know.
Yeah.
Which is what you call propaganda in Australia.
It's true. Yeah.
Hey, look at Macca's new propo.
Yeah. It's a slightly crispier chicken burger or whatever. Yeah, it's good, I guess, isn't it?
I literally had one before I came here.
And?
It's pretty good.
Better than a regular McChicken burger?
I don't know. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Because then you have to go and try the other one,
That's
right?
right.
Compare the crispiness.
That's where we're going after this.
That's right.
And next week we can be sponsored by the McSoggy, which is the soggier version.
So here's a bit of background, Mason, on District 13, which they sort of touch on in the movies. So during the original rebellion, which was 75 years earlier, that might be when the Younger Games are set. Who knows? So that was apparently a secret military-industrial complex. And as a result of a stalemate between District 13 and the Capitol, it's TOL, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know
because
that.
it's the future.
Yeah, that's right. It's the future and people forgot how to spell certain things.
right.
Because they both had access to nuclear weapons, they were like, this is a mutually assured destruction situation.
Okay.
So why don't we just do a big ceasefire
Okay.
and we'll tell everybody that we killed you.
Yeah.
And then they went, okay, well, we'll just be quiet for 75 years.
Yeah.
and
That's right.
and we'll just go from there. Yeah.
Just a bit of shush for 75 years.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's fun, isn't it?
Looks fun.
How do you feel about the Philip Seymour Hoffman in this? Or the lack of at points? They got some of it, clearly.
I wouldn't say I noticed his absence in the sense that
He's in it.
he's in it. And all the scenes that I remember from watching it at the cinema, he was still in it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, again, I haven't read the original novels. So apparently they took some of that character's dialogue and gave it to other characters.
There's a
right?
bit at the end where Haymitch reads a letter from him.
Oh, yes,
And that's obviously a scene that he would have been in. There's stuff also where after you see Julianne Moore get shot with an arrow, bad placement of your person, by the way.
I wouldn't have stood there at all.
What are you doing?
I would have stood probably behind Katniss, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then it would take she'd probably have to do like a backflip or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you'd see it coming. Obviously,
Absolutely, you would.
You absolute goose, Julianne Moore. What were you thinking?
But yeah, you see after that he gives a little wry
Sit in a
smile.
Pope-mobile or something.
It's in the Pope. They've probably got a Pope-mobile.
They've probably got a Pope-mobile up on the stand with in a Pope-mobile.
Exactly.
What were you thinking, Julianne Moore, you goose?
God, I tell you what, were you, did that feel like good comeuppance to you? Because Julianne Moore, what they were saying is basically, she's just like Snow, you know? They're both evildoers.
So shoot her now.
Shoot her now?
In fact, shoot her now, shoot all her advisors, shoot anybody. You know what, just line up everybody in the city and be like, you considering maybe doing another Hunger Games? You think that might be a good idea? Well, we're going to shoot you too. Actually, I got enough arrows.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll do a few of you at once. Some of these explode.
God. So in this scenario, right, when it all wraps up, and we're jumping around a bit, it's suggested that let's do another The Hunger Games, but with the rich people kids, you know?
right.
So everybody gets a sense of what's going on with The Hunger Games. We all have an idea of what's going on. How do you feel about that as a strategy? Is that something you love?
No.
You don't like eye for an eye?
No, James.
Oh. Isn't that the point of the movie, though?
Oh, we're supposed to
Revenge?
learn that. Are we all supposed to learn that? I think it's a good idea.
Katniss does a big revenge. Why can't everybody get a big revenge?
Well, then we're done.
Yeah?
She's got her revenge and she's the main character. Neither of us are the main character,
That's
are
true,
we? So
yeah.
we don't get to do a big revenge. Speaking of arrows, do you remember the first couple of seasons of Arrow? He's killing everybody. He's shooting
Yeah.
everybody with arrows. And then he's like, I'm not going to do any more killings. And then some other people show up and be like, I'm going to do some killings. And he's like, no, killing's wrong. You did all those killings. Let everybody else do some.
Also, you still kill.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Come on. No, I completely understand what you're saying. So you're saying if you're the main character and you're in a love triangle, then that's fine. You can do it. You can,
Yes,
you
of
can
course.
basically shoot whoever.
I think so.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
And then you'd be like, this ends now. And then and there's no more. You get to say this ends now.
Yeah, of course. So one of the complaints we had of the first two Hunger Games movies,
Not about our videos. Nah. Okay.
no complaints.
Great.
And if you have any, leave them below, but we will not be addressing them. Is that there's no stakes in terms of the decisions that Katniss has to make or doesn't have to make.
Yes, absolutely.
In the Hunger Game, that she never has to shoot a child.
Yes.
To-
or an old lady.
Or an old lady or whatever.
a duck.
Yeah, or a duck. She'd shoot a duck, but she doesn't.
She doesn't
She
shoot a
shoots
duck,
a
that's what I'm
pheasant,
saying.
maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Because, Rue takes an arrow or an axe or whatever. The old lady walks into the fog. These are things she doesn't have to address. But how do you feel in this one?
Oh, yes.
Where her actions in taking the fight to President Snow so she can shoot an arrow at him is getting people around her killed. And she's like, wait a minute. I hate making decisions. This sucks.
Yeah. I shouldn't have volunteered as a tribute back then.
No. Well, yeah, what was the point, really, ultimately? But is that the point? Because her sister dies in this, right?
That's true.
She dies in a big explosion.
What do you mean, right? You've seen it.
Yeah, right.
Oh, right.
I'm saying that's right.
Yeah, it is right.
It's the right thing to happen.
It is the correct thing that could happen, yeah.
It's the futility of war, I assume, right?
Yes,
Right?
Right? Yeah.
That's what they were aiming.
Yeah.
Because we know some of these themes are accidental.
That's true.
So
But this one might be deliberate?
I don't know.
Okay.
Right?
Because Julianne Moore does it. She drops all the bombs.
Yeah, well, not
Right?
just... Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
She does it.
It's the right thing to do.
Because it's propo.
Yeah, that's right.
It's both propo and the proper thing to do, which is propo.
But I guess that, that points to, like, as I said, the futility of war and whatnot. But it really puts a wrinkle in the old, the love triangle. Because it turns out that Chris Hemsworth's brother, he's got that dog in him. And by that I mean he loves doing war crimes.
That's exactly right.
So it was his
Which
idea.
feels kind of like a last act reveal, that kind of thing of like...
I think it's kind of hinted at, especially in the last one.
He does have that t-shirt that says, ask me about all my war crimes. So...
that I am yet to do, but will do. Right?
Right? But again, the problem there is that again, it precludes Katniss from making any difficult decisions this time about her love life. Because the whole thing, it's been like, is it going to be Gale or is it going to be Peter?
Who are you going to be kissing?
Maybe the one who doesn't do war crimes. That just tried to choke you to death. But that wasn't his fault, right?
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 Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who do you pick? Mr. War Crimes, who indirectly got your sister killed, or the guy who got his brain melted and choked you a bit.
I reckon a different guy.
Yeah, you reckon there'd be a third guy?
There's probably some real hunks in the Capitol with cool haircuts and like big like jackets with a big collar on them, maybe.
Yeah.
Some gold, you know.
But soft hands, you know?
Soft hands.
But is that good, though? Is that what you want?
Yeah, it
You
is,
wanna
right?
Go for something,
Right?
right? Yeah, you want to go for something different, right?
Yeah.
So, no, you're right. She doesn't have to make a decision because one of them is genocidal maniac, despite being Chris Hemsworth's brother.
That's true.
Which he's got all the advantages in the world of being Chris Hemsworth's brother.
That's right.
And look how he uses it.
Chris Hemsworth's brother, great actor, great hair. He's in those OPSM glasses ads in Australia.
Isn't he? Yeah.
Getting free glasses, probably.
He's probably getting
What a
free.
dog.
I don't reckon he'd use them, though.
I don't think he needs them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's that situation.
I think it is, yeah. I think he just
Impressive.
puts them on to look intellectual. I don't think he needs them at all. I bet he's got perfect eyesight. But all the Hemsworths have.
Yeah, no doubt. So, I mean, we know Julianne Moore gets some comeuppance. Do you feel...
And some come downance.
That's true.
Because she falls off the thing.
Falls off the thing. Do you feel that President Snow, him being torn apart by a mob, that's enough, right?
Yeah, right? Right? I think that's enough, him being torn to shreds, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And we don't see enough of it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you can't, can you?
Could have turned to black and white like in Kill Bill.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you get away with more.
That's
you
true.
You can get away with more of a Donald Sutherland being torn to pieces if it's in black and white. Because there could be anything coming out of him. Guts, paper mache,
A tar trap.
paint.
Exactly. All these different things. Before we do the hung trivia, I have a couple of cat thoughts. There's just a cat lady in this out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Maybe she's probably shows up in the background of a previous
Well, isn't she like, she's one of the designers, right?
Yeah.
She's friends with, the
Are
guy.
you gonna go my way?
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz. I was going to say guy whose dick flew out of his pants that time.
like right out?
Yeah.
Like it flew away?
Yeah, it flew away, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
God.
spread peace all around the world. It's beautiful.
Great.
But
Did it come back?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Okay.
But I guess she's, they're probably, maybe she must have been in the background of one of the previous ones. But yeah, it's just like, there's a cat lady. She sort of acts like a cat.
Sort of.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Mason.
Go on.
For the final time. It's the hung trivia, mocking trivia, part 2.
Part trivia?
Yeah, part trivia. This
Love
is the
that.
trivia section of the show. This bit is directly from IMDb, so I hope you enjoy it.
So it's made up, whatever it is.
No, I mean, you tell me if this is made up.
Okay.
Jennifer Lawrence and
That's made up.
and director Francis Lawrence are not related.
That's true, actually.
That is true. You're
I mean,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just from IMDb trivia, so I assume it is true.
Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence accidentally revealed that her nephews were playing Katniss and Peter's children during Comic-Con 2015. Do you remember that big reveal? It's crazy. Internet went insane.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, everything just shut down. I think it was about a week, maybe? Till the power went out.
Yeah.
Do you
Sure.
remember?
Yeah, right?
It was a big deal. And the epilogue scene was shot a year after principal photography shooting ended. Jennifer Lawrence's baby nephew was such a heavy sleeper that he wouldn't wake up to the loud clapping that was supposed to startle him, so they had to resort to a squeaky whistle to get him to
Okay,
wake
sure.
up.
Okay.
That's fun, isn't it?
That's a fun bit of trivia.
Yeah. God, imagine having a baby like that, you know what I mean? A baby that sleeps through the night, sleeps through a film shoot. That's
yeah.
what you want. Now, things have taken a turn in the Hunger Games franchise financially. Despite having a budget of $160 million, it only made $653.4, which is good. Before you jump down my throat and say, James, that's actually bad.
Sounds bad.
No, it's good.
Come on, imagine only having $650 million whatever dollars.
That is embarrassing. Yeah, you're right. So it did have the lowest opening of the franchise, earning $102.7 million in its opening weekend. And it's also, of all the Hunger Games movies, it is the lowest earner. Oh. Even the first one. Yeah, which made slightly more than this. But still, overall, this is like a $2 billion franchise. It's still a good result. It did just kind of peter out at the end, if you don't mind me saying so. And let's just talk salary. This is a segment called Getting Paid, I think we call it. It might be called a different thing.
It's about me getting paid?
You don't get paid, Mason.
Oh, no. I
You get
thought
paid
this
in
was the one.
No, you get paid in experience.
Oh, sure. And occasionally I have to do a Hunger Games, I guess,
Jennifer Lawrence.
to kill all the other podcasters.
So Jennifer Lawrence got paid $500,000 for the first one, as we mentioned, $10 million for the second, $15 million for the third.
Nice.
What'd you get for the fourth?
$15 million each?
That's right, it was the same. I was
knew
trying
it.
to trick
You
you.
didn't trick me. You can't trick
They
me.
would have done the deal at the same time and they shot them back to back.
That's right.
You made the right decision there.
Yeah, that's right.
Incredible work.
Yeah. Sorry, this video didn't end the way you thought it would with me being humiliated over a wrong guess about how much Jennifer Lawrence got paid.
I just wanted to give you the experience of being humiliated.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
We'll sort it out later.
Yeah, we'll sort it out later. But yeah, I just feel splitting the book into two, and it's not the strongest book in the franchise, having read it. It's, yeah, I can see why people didn't kind of go along the ride. For the ride. It didn't grow and grow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I wonder if also, like, maybe some people just aged out of the franchise.
Yeah, but Harry Potter went for like 10 years, and that was fine. That only got stronger.
It's true.
Yeah, until the prequels.
Oh, yeah.
And they're bad movies.
They are bad movies.
Which, except for the first one, which I think is fine. But the follow-up ones are bad movies.
Yeah, sure.
In my opinion. Yeah, maybe they did. Over the 3 years or 4 years that these movies came out.
Maybe, man.
But yeah.
I don't know nothing about young adult novels.
Nope. And we're not here to learn.
Right.
We're here for clout.
Are we?
Yeah.
When are we going to get some clout there?
I don't know. It shows up eventually. Doesn't it?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyways, if you like these videos, you might be like, wow, I wish I could see them early. Well, guess what you can if you head over to bigsandwich.co, where all the videos on this channel go up early. But it's not just that. There's exclusive video game Let's Plays. There's movie commentaries. There's bonus podcasts. Our podcast, The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows, that actually comes out there early Sunday as opposed to Monday, where it's on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, etc.
You get clout.
And you get clout.
You get some clout.
We're going to be handing out some clout.
That's right.
Yeah. On the next episode, we're going to be talking about the Hunger Games prequel.
Oh.
And
we're going to watch it then.
yeah, we got to watch it.
fine.
It's all right. This is all fresh, so you're going to remember all the characters.
All right, okay.
Or something.
Do you think there's going to be like a Looper-style montage where Jason Schwartzman slowly transforms into Stanley Tucci over the course of the movie?
Again, as we talked about, I don't think he's the same character, Mason.
That's a
I
shame.
think they're father and son or brothers or whatever.
Right.
All right, thanks everyone for watching.
Grab that jam, you guys. We'll see you next week.
And thank you, Ben and Lawrence, for the edit.
Thank you, Ben and Lawrence.